I do work in the estate side of litigation, as well as including guardianships, probate issues, trust document issues. And so when they tend to be, a lot of times they'll go through uncontested, nobody's fighting a will or something like that. That's something that we do at our firm, but I usually don't need to get involved because I'm usually dealing with the contested matters. Once someone fights a will, they want to contest whether it's an actual accurate document, valid document, because maybe it hasn't been, maybe it's been forged, maybe it's been signed when they didn't have capacity, mental ability to understand what they were signing, those types of scenarios. Well, that's when we kind of get involved. Guardianship is kind of the first set of that, where somebody is being alleged to be incapacitated, where they've lost the ability to have their own rights. And the court system is going to remove those rights. It's a little different than, for instance, a lot of people are familiar with powers of attorney. Powers of attorney give you equal rights. You share those rights, and they can be revoked at any time. When you have a guardianship, the court gets involved and says, I'm taking away your rights. It's very important, very serious, and so the court wants to make sure that they are very careful with that, and so does, of course, our legal system in general. I'll get involved to make sure that someone is getting through that process. We will do contested, we do uncontested as well, but when it gets contested, that's also when I kind of step in a little more stronger, and we go through litigation, whether it be on the capacity side of things to determine whether or not the person is actually incapacitated, and that's the legal term for incompetence or lack of mental ability. Or we'll step in to determine who a guardian or the appropriate guardian or guardians will be. Sometimes there's issues with the property, and you don't want somebody, you want a professional maybe, handling the money side of things, the financial and the property side of things. Sometimes you want a family member just doing the health, and the personal, health-related matters, care and things like that, and we can split that up in the court system. So that's when, when we'll get involved in trying to make those determinations, and that's one thing that's worked out through the court system, and we handle that. Sometimes there's multiple family members vying for a position in that process, whether it be having co-guardians or whether it be one is saying this one's unfit versus this one. And so we get involved to try and help advocate for our client to be the one chosen by the court. As far as the probate side of things, we also handle contested probate matters, and when we deal with the contested probates, that usually means that somebody's arguing about either a claim that they have against the estate, whether it be they were in a lawsuit against someone who passed away, or they have some kind of matter where maybe it's a personal injury case, an automobile accident that might end up going through. It could end up in guardianship, could end up in probate, could end up in several things. So then sometimes we'll get involved in those types of matters with that, with the estate-related scenario. And sometimes we will also be dealing with the probate because of the fact that somebody's contesting what they acquired, or whether they were doing the proper job, breaching maybe a fiduciary duty to the beneficiaries. And so that's something we sometimes will be involved in as well. And that goes with trust cases a lot of times as well. You have a trustee running a trust for someone, and so a lot of times that'll happen after they've either lost capacity or after they've passed away, and they're supposed to do their job of distributing the assets that are in the trust. And sometimes there's allegations that somebody might not do something correctly, or they didn't do something correctly, and we'll step in to try and help fix that.